What is far deadlier than most people realize? Serious. Grapefruit in combination with many prescription drugs. Basically, grapefruit can affect the way your medications work. With some meds, adding grapefruit screws up the way your body metabolizes the drug, so you end up with far more than the prescribed dosage. It can also work in the opposite way with other drugs, leaving you with less than the prescribed dosage. This is especially bad if you have high blood pressure or arrhythmia. This article on the FDA site explains it way better. https://www.fda.gov/consumers/consumer-updates/grapefruit juice and some drugs don't mix. I take a high dose of calcium channel blockers. One time in college I tried a crash diet where you eat a grapefruit for breakfast. My medicine bottle says not to eat grapefruit, but this had never been pointed out by a doctor or pharmacist, so I thought it wasn't a big deal. The second day, I decided maybe it was worth looking into, so I called my pharmacist to ask what would happen if I did eat grapefruit. Over the phone he said over and over, "No, don't eat grapefruit," and wouldn't tell me exactly what would happen. Finally I was like, well, I already did, so what do I need to be worried about? I ended up being completely fine, but I got a more stern scolding from that pharmacist than I've gotten from my parents for anything. Quit drinking. Been an EMT for a while and work with a lot of the homeless population. Will gets calls for people who decided today is the day to finally quit drinking and do it cold turkey. As soon as the next morning people can present with delirium tremens, severe withdrawals can induce seizures and can also lead to death. A lot of these people will think because they quit hard drugs like heroin or meth, cold turkey alcohol would be the same without knowing the major effects it can have on your health. Edit. Guess I should add this is only for people with alcohol dependency and not all your casual or even heavier drinkers. This goes for most GABAergic drugs. Benzos, gabapentin/pregabalin, alcohol, and some antidepressants are serious shit. When I was using Xans and dope, we'd always joke that dope will kill ya from the dose and Xans will kill ya from withdrawal. Trucker here. I've had 2 blood clots in my legs from driving long distances and having my leg pressed against the corner of the seat for hours on end. One almost killed me. Apparently it's very common with truckers. You're supposed to stop and walk around every hour and a half to keep things circulating, which almost nobody does due to time constraints. The same thing happens in gaming chairs apparently, people forget to move their legs because they're so focused on the game. You don't need to worry so much if you're younger, but if you're a gamer who's a little older, please be aware. Everyone who read this started moving their legs around. Deep vein thrombosis, DVT, is a well-documented effect of long-haul flights too. Which is why pilots who fly long-haul and ultra-long-haul, flights lasting more than 10 HRS, wear pressure socks. Passengers are advised to walk around the cabin once every few hours. With flights lasting up to 18 hours, this is a necessity. Get the blood moving. If any of these clots somehow dislodge and reach your heart, it is goodbye. MD here, clots form in medium-sized veins, most commonly in the legs. If part of that clot breaks off, it travels up the larger veins that feed to the heart. It then enters the right side of the heart where blood is pumped to the lungs to be oxygenated. The arteries in the lung get progressively smaller the further from the heart. This is where clots can be problematic, not the heart, which is a larger diameter. If the clot is large and blocks one of the larger arteries, or worse saddles at the branch to both lungs, it can be fatal for 3 reasons. First, it creates extra pressure that the heart has to pump against. The right side of the heart doesn't handle pressure well like the left side, where a typical systolic pressure is 20 to 30 vs 120 plus of the left. Small increases in pressure can cause extra strain in the right heart, leading to heart failure, severe peripheral edema, and death. Secondly, the clot can cause a lung infarction and kill off part of the lung. And lastly, it prevents oxygenation. Luckily, the vast majority of pulmonary embolisms lodge in smaller, more peripheral vessels where they only cause the latter, blocking some oxygenation and causing mild shortness of breath and chest pain. They are easily treated with blood thinners and avoiding the provoking cause. Penile fracture. If this happens to you, do not hesitate to get medical help. 12 weeks ago this happened to me. The tissue that fills with blood and makes the penis erect can fracture when impacted awkwardly. Bend at 45 degrees and a huge hematoma and swelling. I went the ed and after the poor student doctor saw it, I was rushed into hospital. I was informed if it wasn't surgically fixed it could mean necrosis and removal. The surgical procedure involved degloving the penis, removing the hematoma, stitching up the fractured tissue under the skin and then stitching the skin back on. Still having nerve pain, not mention the effect it's had on our sex life. Degloving the penis. Nope. That's brutal, man. Hope you get better soon. Testicular torsion. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help. In all honesty, the embarrassment is all in your head. Doctors and nurses really don't give a fuck, they really don't care, and aren't judging you one bit. They have seen everything, and then some more. But they will judge you if you make the foolish decision not to seek help cause of made-up embarrassment and lose your balls. The pain might not be severe, but you have a few hours tops before your balls die. Edit. To put some numbers to this, if you wait longer than 6 hours, permanent damage may occur. After 12 hours, there's a 75% chance of losing the testicle. Source: https://www.medicalnewstoday.com/articles/190514. I had emergency surgery to fix testicular torsion. I went to the ER because my right ball was very tender and painful to touch and they ordered an ultrasound to confirm it was twisted. When the doctor returned he said I was being booked in for surgery that day, otherwise I'd lose it. Went in at 10 a.m. and left at 6 p.m. with a stitched up sac. Wasn't very fun.